So I opted for a crown and the little flags. Oh,
You feel like a whole folder.
I only have my book. That's the only thing that I have. It's my book.
OMG, I need that.
It is so good. I did this last year.
Which one's that one? Who's the author?
This is Andrew Morton.
Is that the official one? That's the newest one. That's not the weird one from the Butler.
No, this is the new edition one, the 25th anniversary edition one. But this is the one in 1992 when she basically leaked her own story. But there's new material inside the book, which I read last year after watching the documentary on Netflix. I was in tears. I was I have to read this. And so
that's Diana in her own words with the video.
Yeah. So this is the basically just the book version of it.
Gorgeous.
But she contributed to that book, didn't she?
Yeah, that she basically leaked her own tapes of what's inside the book. So this is literally in her own words of what she had to say about everything.
I love it.
Me too.
I'm gonna do that one day.
I'm just what?
I'm gonna do that one day. Just leak all my own information.
I don't know how it comes to public attention. If
it can work for Diana, if it can work for Kim Kardashian, it can work for all of us.
True.
Princess Diana ran so Paris Hilton could walk.
That is so true. That is also true. But I think it was just so bold, literally in 1992 when it came out, that she was you know what? If all of this, I'm gonna let people know what's actually going on. I don't care about what people think, and I'm just going to let everyone know what's going on. And I was wow, that's amazing.
Were they separated by then?
1995 is when they separated, isn't it? I think
you read the book, not me.
I think they separated in 1995. 1992 was when she was literally crying for help. She was nobody's listening to me. The Queen was listening to me. How do I get it out? And then she decided that the public would be the best defense for her. So if she can get out to the public, maybe then the inside of the royal family will start listening to her. So, but then obviously a whole bunch of backlash came because in The Crown you can also see how close she is with Prince Phillip. So what I read afterwards is that they were actually quite close, and that he would write to her and stuff. He actually wrote a letter to her saying that he doesn't understand Camilla's appeal to Charles, and she's not that good looking and blah blah blah, as Prince Phillip would say that. And then after this was published, she kind of backtracked on everything that he said, because he was how can you go out there and say all of these things when there was support? But obviously there wasn't actually any support for her, because why would she actually go ahead and do this? So that was a little fun fact that I knew about, because the actual letters were published the Daily Mail.
Diana and Philip.
Prince Philip wrote to Princess Diana, and he said that this was before the book, and he was saying that he doesn't understand why Charles keeps going to Camilla, blah 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 blah. And then obviously the relationship stained after she wrote the book, or after she leaked the tapes, basically.
But is that the one where he says, I don't want to call myself a marriage counselor, and she's like,
yes, that is
yourself. There's something like that, you could be, or something, I don't know.
Yeah, and then she was
I want to call myself a marriage counselor. No one's
no,
calling
no. No one would call you a marriage counselor.
Not Prince Phillip, no. I am a bit I'm a bit amazed at how attracted I was to the actor who played Prince Phillip. I won't lie.
Oh, me too.
Okay. You're okay. Is everything good?
Too. As long as it wasn't Prince Charles. I mean, Josh, everybody thinks that he's cutie pie and whatever, but I was just I don't see anything. Maybe because his portrayal of Prince Charles was so scary that I was just I can't even be attracted to you. Prince Philip has this well, the betrayal in the crown, he has like this, like this cool, make those witty remarks, and he's kind of like that bad boy, but you don't, I don't know. I was just like a little attracted. I was like, oh, and when there was a scene where the queen, the door was open because she wanted to speak about the kids. And he's like, oh, did you leave this door open for me or something like that? I don't know if you guys remember that scene. And I was like, oh, okay. But she was like, no, it's not because of that. Like, she wants to talk about the kids. That was the episode of, she was trying to figure out which one was the favorite.
Which one was the favorite? Yeah, I love that.
That was such a cool episode. So
I felt something when like Philip went like very close to Diana in that last episode.
That was fucking creepy. That was flowers in the attic.
I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I was trying to get my girl out of the situation. That was too close.
I felt chemistry between them when you was like so, and I was like, whoa. And that's when I kind of realized, Pia, maybe you are attracted to this guy. Like, maybe you are attracted to Prince Phillip. Because I was kind of shipping them in the end.
Shipping them. Diana and Philip, knowing what happens.
I know.
In the chat, they're talking about your cardboard cutout. So show the new people.
So this is it was made in 1994. It came with, I think it was a U product, dressing up Diana for ages 5 and up. Unfortunately, I got this for my birthday last year, so I need you to imagine everybody's at a bar for my birthday, wasted. They're all doing their own thing. I'm sitting in the corner, dressing up Diana, and consequently, I've lost half of her ski outfit. But she's got a whole variety of looks. I've chosen Royal Wedding because I thought it would be appropriate, but we can switch to, we've got Dodie's Yacht. We've got...
Dodie's Yacht.
The episode where she does the shitty cat song. We've got... Did anyone have time for that cat song?
Cat song?
When she did Memories.
Didn't she do Phantom Opera?
No, she did the dance. She did the dance at... No, it wasn't. It was Phantom Opera.
Phantom Opera.
She wears that thing. Okay, wait. We should leave this for the actual discussion. But so, hi everyone who has joined since we're actually just waiting on Zayaan. But yeah, so the chat at the bottom, chat to your heart's content. I will keep it open, and tell us what you're thinking. Tell us what you agree with, what you don't agree with. Then we have like. At the bottom, you'll also see a Q&A. So if you have specific questions for anybody or for everybody in general, you can put that there and we will answer. Hannah's asking if she can stay if she hasn't watched season 4. Hannah, if you know what happens in season 4.
She's always up to nonsense.
She doesn't die. She doesn't die in season 4. But spoiler alert, she does die eventually. So
people do. Spoiler alert. She's all gonna
die. But you can stay. I mean, we're gonna be talking about season 4, but I'm sure it's general knowledge too.
Yeah, I mean, we are talking about the dramatization of historical fact.
Yeah.
It's not.
As the royal family keeps pushing, it's fictional, the fictional thing. Okay.
I love how now they're only deciding it's fictional. And like when Queen Elizabeth was hot, and when she...
when Queen Elizabeth was hot, yes, Queen. Now that things are getting frisky with the minors, it's time to... Back in the days of the MAC Full Coverage Foundation, Queen Elizabeth, we were all very pro-monarchy.
We were like, no, it's true. But now that it's like, they showing... But I feel like, okay, I know, okay, we're going to start anyway. I feel like, like she's still coming off looking pretty good.
I agree with you.
I mean, some of her judgments might still be a bit like, but I mean, she's still coming off looking like, oh, shame, poor Elizabeth. She has to deal with this unruly family.
Well, especially I think with the apartheid episode with Margaret Thatcher, and everyone was like, oh, she was pushing back. And I was like, was she? I don't think so. I think maybe she made a comment like, oh, what's going on there is bad. And she does care about the Commonwealth. But for me, I was like, I don't think that it caused such a rift between Margaret Thatcher and her. I think the Queen just does stay quite leveled and doesn't get involved in anything. So for me, I was like, they really painted her in a really good light. And also her screaming at Charles in one of the episodes when, I think it was the last one, when Diana came to the Queen and said, Mama, can I talk to you? And the Queen was like, no. And then Charles was in her dressing room as well. And he was like, I need to speak to you. She's like, what is it with you people? And then she started like screaming at him, like, your duty is to the crown, you stay in your marriage. I don't know if I have a hard time believing that she reprimanded him that much.
Yeah, that she has the capacity for that much emotion. I don't think her little reptilian brain, like if this was a real story, they'd take off their masks and be like reptile people. That would be the true searing indictment of the British monarchy. But yeah, I don't think they're such a close family. It's very obviously dramatized because there's no way for an outsider to understand the nuance of their familial relations.
Sure.
Was anybody surprised at liking royal family members they didn't think they'd like by the end of the season?
By this season?
Yeah.
Prince Phillip. Prince Phillip was my big one. I was like, ooh, Prince. I especially the way that they portrayed Diana and his relationship at the end of the day. I think that kind of sold me on him. I was like, ooh, he was actually caring about her. He didn't give a shit about Charles, I think, that much, which kind of put me in his corner too, because Princess Anne was his favorite and he made it known. I was like, okay, you got to give him that. So, in the Crown Prince Phillip, I enjoy him. The actual Prince Phillip, not so much.
Yeah, I think let's give ourselves that disclaimer now.
I don't like Prince Phillip, like in real life. Shame. 98 years old.
Oh my God.
99? I feel like it's 100th birthday. They're planning it.
99?
I just want to say to everybody, like, if you want the chat to be available to everyone, like including the other people attending, like put on where it says 2, like change that option to panelists and attendees. Just so like everyone can see. But wait, I'll comment on some of the chats along. So Jamie, Pia's sister, has a question for Pia. How many times did you cry in that episode, or the apartheid episode, especially at Mandela?
Oh, I cried at the end. I didn't cry during it, but I'm just laughing because at the end of it, when he's like, oh, Nelson Mandela was the first Black president, I just slumped into his lap and I was like tearing up, and because it is emotional, especially to see it on something like The Crown. So it's like, so I did cry at the end. I didn't cry during, but I was infuriated throughout the actual episode. I was,
I breathed in like
really bad words towards Margaret Thatcher. So
I breathed in during those scenes where they showed like the police brutality. Like I didn't like seen that footage so much time, but every time it just gets me. Like I can't.
Yeah.
But
I mean, my husband, who is as American as they come, he was
my American husband.
My American husband. No, he obviously doesn't know anything about like the British monarchy. Like he knows a few, but the first time he actually got into knowing who they were was when Meghan and Harry was touring Cape Town or South Africa, and that's when I introduced him. I was like, he's like, why are we so obsessed with these people? I was like, I don't know, but we are. So to watch it from his perspective, to watch like. He was like, did Charles really shout at her like that? And he was like shook a little bit. So it was interesting to see him watch it because he's never seen season 1, 2, or 3. but he started watching it with me a little bit. And so to see it from his perspective, it was also quite wild to like, he's like, but why, what's going, like, why is he in this marriage? Like, did he really cheat on her? Like, it was wild to him to see this happening. So I can only imagine, like, yeah, it was.
It's like, yeah, it's starting now with Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Ooh, hello.
Hello. I don't know why it's so dark by me, but this is what I have, so
light, and it's 12:30 in the afternoon, so I have like the sun and everything.
I was just wondering what time it was by you, Pia.
Yeah, it's 12:43.
Okay, so it's a good time for you.
Okay, so hello everybody. Maybe you can all introduce yourself. I just want to say, like, you guys were all guests on the podcast, and mainly chosen because you spoke about the crown on your episode, and we were trying this out to see how it will work. And I'm very grateful that you said thank you that you said that you agreed to do it. And yeah, so anyway, as I said, if anybody's just joining now, the chat is open. Put it to a panelist and attendees if you want everyone to join in on your conversation. If you want to address it just to the people on the panel, then put it to panelists. If you have specific questions, there's another option for Q&A, and we will see that directly when we do like the Q&A section. So, and then like I will ask them the questions. So pop your questions in the Q&A section, any chat things, any thoughts on what we're talking about, put it in the chat. But yeah, okay. So let's start with Fanie. You can go first, then Pia, and then Zayaan, and just introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Fanie Buys. I'm not well emotionally, but I'm here. I'm happy to be here, happy to be nominated. Yeah, I love Princess Diana. I have a Princess Diana tattoo. I'm an artist, and I do a lot of artwork involving Princess Diana. And and the royal family, and the sort of the psychic barriers, very ethereal. Yes, that's me.
I'm Pia Jacobs. What about me? Oh, I love Princess Diana. I just have all my life. I mean, my mom was the one who kind of just introduced her and the royal family to us. So I've always been obsessed a little bit, like her death, conspiracies, who she was, her charity work, and the rest of the royal family, obviously. Besides Diana, obviously Harry and Meghan are my favorite, and then Prince George.
What about Philip? You were talking big game about Philip just now.
Oh no! The Crown Phillip. That's it.
On that note, Zayaan.
On that Philip note. Philip is my favorite problematic royal. That man gets himself into so much trouble. I just laugh at him. Like his whole life, he puts his foot in it. I love him just because he's so fun to watch. But anyway, Zayaan. Gosh, I think I wrote the Queen a letter when I was 8 years old, and then I got a reply back from one of the ladies in waiting. So I still have it. I think that's how Caryn knows me. Through that story. That's how she knows about my obsession. But the thing is, I wouldn't even call it an obsession with the royal family. It's more of a fascination. Just because, like, how are you so removed from the world, but I'm still so fascinated by them. And also, I just love history. So that was always, so I'm like going back through family trees and seeing who comes from where and all this nonsense. But I love it. I love the drama.
So guys, what did you think of season 4, like in comparison to the previous seasons? Anyone want to go?
Who's gonna go first?
Go first.
I think because we're getting to the part of the, I want to say the story, but the history, I suppose, that most people know about, because it's the Diana years now. It's a thing that we all know about. I mean, okay, I'm 35, and I clearly remember the day Princess Diana died. I know the exact moment I was lying in my bed and I heard my mommy saying from the next room that she died. It was a Sunday morning. Like I have that memory very clearly. So this is the part of this. I think it's so now it's getting a little bit exciting, but like, okay, we know the story now. So I think that's what it is with this season, that it's more recent in everyone's minds than the previous season.
I agree, like full on. I think the whole Diana storyline has brought in like new viewers and people that haven't even seen season 1, 2, and 3 talking about it because it's about Princess Diana and her story with Charles. So I agree. I also remember when she died and my mom screaming from the next room. Yeah. Oh, she died. And I'm like, oh my God, I was 6 years old, 6, 7 years old. And I remember going into the room, sitting on a bed, watching like the small TV. Yeah. And my mom just like in tears sitting in the bed. So I remember that. It was. For Stephen else, we didn't even know this woman. I felt it too. I was like
and Fanie, were you a fetus when
oh yeah. I was diagnosed. I was very involved. I was 4 at the time. It was a very it was like the first big thing I remember happening. My mom's British and she's a bit of a monarchist. When the Queen Mother died, she stood at attention at the TV for the whole funeral, crying. The woman was born 10 years after the Second World War. She was crying because the Queen Mother ploughed up the fields in Buckingham Palace to become vegetable gardens and didn't leave London. And she says, she's one of us. She's one of us. So long history of delusion in our family. My mom's birthday is also the same day as Princess Diana's birthday, which she likes to say Princess Diana has the same birthday as her because she's 6 years older than her. Yeah, I love this period of history because I think it's a weird intersection of the socio-political themes that we're having now, like neo-fascism and loss of empire and sort of a strange power shift, on top of like a weird obsession with pop culture. I mean, like how we have this unprecedented, I mentioned the Kardashians, I know that's low-hanging fruit, but even because Diana was the first sort of celebrity surveillance object we had like that we suddenly had access to all the time. Yeah, so it's super interesting on like a cultural level for me as well.
So, like, speaking about Diana, what were your what did you think of Emma Corrin as Diana?
I loved her. I thought she was perfect. I was actually so astounded that I found somebody who looked so much like her. I thought she did it really well. We don't know Diana, so I don't know if she was like that in the beginning. You know, that naive and little childish almost when he sees her as a tree. That whole beginning part, like I don't know if she was like that. It did seem like she was a bit. What's the word? Like her head was in the clouds, so to say, and then just to watch she becomes towards the end of it.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say she was when she met him, she was 16, 17
yeah.
years old. So she was just a little girl. And I like watching The Crown season 4, and I would go on Google and just remind myself which years the episode was, and then I would calculate, oh my gosh, 25 with this scene when she went to Australia. And then at the end she was 28 years old, and I'm like, I can't imagine being such a young woman and having to go through all of those things that she had to go through. And I think that The Crown could have shown that a bit more. And I know that it's a different time, and most of our parents and married young, and it was acceptable then. But I think they could have shown her age a little bit more, like
the age gap, because the age gap was quite big between the two of them. I actually also had to go Google it because I wasn't 100% sure what that, but it's like a 16-17 year age gap between the two of them. It's quite massive for that relationship. It's going to be, I don't want to say strained, but I mean, she's, like you say, she was a child and he was a grown man already. So there were going to be these tensions between them.
But I think the problem also falls that she is so young.
Yeah. Sorry, I do think comparing her character, the way she's being characterized in the drama, not her as a person, compared to, I think the Margaret Thatcher character in The Crown is very compelling because we can consciously see she's a bad person, but constantly there's all of these factors that endear her to us, which makes her very interesting, whereas Diana is constantly the victim. She's constantly very good. And I did cry every time she came on screen, but I think looking back at it, that it could have been more interesting if they played more into the infidelity, if they played more into sort of her naivety and entitlement. And I think she was very vain, and she was a 19-year-old girl. Can you imagine? I mean, Prince Charles was a hottie at that time.
Was he?
I think Bonnie has been removed from the
Prince
panel.
Phillip, on the other hand, I mean, he was a little at his age.
But I mean, what scenes like in particular like stand out for you?
For me, that Uptown Girl scene and his face, I just sat there and I thought, oh my God, what are you doing? How did you not think that this was a bad idea? Don't you know this man by now? Like, this is a terrible idea. I just sat there, I was like, oh.
I think that's where age comes in again.
Yes, exactly.
She was still so young, and like
that was. She thought it would be
and she thought it was a good idea. But I remember sitting watching that too, and I was like,
when she put that video in, I was like, what? Again.
And
she's so proud of it.
Oh, shame. That was so, and then you were it was the Phantom of the Opera one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with Charles.
And he was so beautiful. Oh my God, the way he spoke to Anne afterwards about how he had to put on this face. I was like, you are the worst.
I felt the same. I felt seen.
Oh my God.
I was so upset when I heard like how mean he was, like with Anne. But then I was like, would I not have reacted similarly and have done the similar thing with my sibling? If it was me, I would have.
I think my favorite Diana scene is from the beginning, when she and Philip go out on that hunt to get the deer. Just that little relationship between the two of them was really cute to watch. I really like that. I thought Philip had no drama this season also, except that one burn that the Queen threw at him about the ballerinas.
You have your ballerina.
Yeah, as far as I know.
So.
What's so interesting, I think, about that as the introduction to Diana, her brother's speech, his obituary to her at her funeral was all about how her name's Diana, that's the hunter goddess, and how she was the hunter, but she was hunted, and that sort of imagery of the stag, being shot by this family.
Yes.
I think that was really compelling about that episode.
That was. It was.
Can we talk about that first photo shoot where she's in the blue suit and she looks like she's having a seizure? Because that's me trying to tell guys at the Pick and Pay deli counter that I'm gay, and just that's what I'm trying to do behind my mask and my eyes.
I love it.
That's the only time she does a fuck job.
That face that she does, and she does it a few times.
She does, and it's always like. So yeah, I cringed a little bit when she would do that. She would go, the eyes would go so big and her face would go so low.
But she's straight out of drama school though. This is her first role ever. She's straight out of drama school.
Wow, so, I didn't know that.
My mom even asked at one point, she's like, did Diana look down such a lot?
I'm trying to. I've got my archives here.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a good picture from also for later, everybody.
Oh yes. Wait till we're gonna get
again, Andy. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you can even see it here. Does that come into focus? It's a very, very, I think, difficult facial tick to capture because they try and do it. I think it's because she was so shy. I remember watching an interview saying the reason there's all of these Diana, her fashions, because she never spoke. She was too shy to speak. It's only in, I think, when we get 6'2" Princess Diana in season 5 that we're going to see some real
Backbone.
sound and lights. Yeah, here it is. Here's a very good one. Here's a very good one of that.
Yeah. Yes. That is the look that she kind of like embodied. And that scene where they were in Australia and Prince Charles was making a speech and he accused her of pulling faces behind him.
Oh, yeah. And then because she was just
She just
reacting
like
to what he was saying. Yeah, she just, oh gosh, that
Have
whole
you
Australia
seen-
trip was a
Have you
disaster.
seen the actual footage of him?
No, I didn't go.
So I went back onto YouTube to watch it, and everybody actually laughed at it. So you said it, and in the crowd, the crowd is quite quiet, and there's murmurs like ooh, whatever. But the actual scene, the actual video, he says it, and he says it quite jokingly, and she laughs, and the whole crowd laughs, and it's like kind of like, oh, it was a little small joke.
Yeah.
But in the book, she does say that he did like lash out at her and like, you know, what were you doing behind my back sort of thing, because he always accused her of doing something behind his back. So that like, for me was interesting that the crowd took that kind of way with the crowd and making it more dark than.
It also probably shows how he gaslights her a bit, like, you know, for us be like, what are you talking about? And like, I mean, which is what she was saying, which also makes me like more inclined to believe the book, because why would somebody make that up? That's such an obscene to make up. Oh, he fought with me after that. That has to have come from a place of somebody who has been through that.
I think the worst fight that they did was the one that I was actually made me so angry with him, was after she comes back from New York and the whole thing where she hugged the little boy and then he went off at her and like, what did he say to her? You make Camilla unhappy and so you make me unhappy. And I was like, excuse me, sir. What?
That made no sense.
What a thing to say to your wife.
Like how would she have understood that? That made zero sense.
I was like, this man. I was laughing at your sister at Jamie's TikTok about
Jamie's here.
I see. I know Jamie's here. I see her there. Hello, Jamie. About what about the Crown coming in to undo all the years of PR that Charles and Camilla had done. I was laughing because it's so true.
I love it. This was like his last leg of his life, and they were like, nope, let's bring this shit out again.
Hopefully this will stop him ever becoming king.
Yeah, no, I do think
because
so.
I actually forgot how much I hated Charles for a long time, and then in these later years with his grandchildren, it's just like a dislike. But now I'm just like back on it. I was like, no.
I do.
I feel bad Camilla, where he said he wants to be her tampon.
Yeah, Mia put in the chat right now. You guys remember Charles 16?
Yeah, I just saw it. It just came out.
That was awful. I remember and I was like, I don't know why I pushed myself to read the whole conversation, but I did, and I was like, I regretted it. I just good night.
I didn't.
I was like, oh my god, it's just like.
I was chatting to a friend yesterday, and she was saying like the line where he says to Camilla, "Your greatest achievement is loving me." Like, how narcissistic do you have to be to say that?
But I mean, the way he was raised, he's raised to be the heir of this kingdom, and literally, he is narcissistic.
If a man said that to me, I'd be done. I'm ready.
What did he tell Andrew on the day of his wedding? And they all just looked at him like
royals.
Yeah.
That was my favorite line of his. I was like, I love it. Who cares about fringe royals?
But I have a feeling like he actually wasn't. Yeah, he was screwed up. He's gonna be the king. But I have a feeling like after watching all of this and like reading the book and like watching YouTube, that he wasn't given the attention that he's always ever wanted. And I feel as though
the kind of attention maybe that he wanted.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I think he knew in his mind he's going to be the king and blah blah blah. But I felt as though his narcissistic ways came from maybe, you know, the Queen actually just not giving a shit about her children that much, and he
Like
was
she actually had to schedule meetings with each of her children
yeah.
so that she didn't like.
That was
And can you
definitely
she
didn't
asked
happen.
like to get notes on them? Like, please get notes on my
Oh, I
children.
love that. I love that. What's my children up to these days? What are their likes, their
Oh, we can do
dislikes?
that in a
Where are they? Oh, they're in a hall? Where?
Which one? Which war are we doing now?
As somebody who was like nannied here in the States, it's so common to get those type of opinions, who just don't know about like the children's activities. I wasn't kind of shocked by that, but more so like just like her own children's relationship with her, like how they viewed her, like the Queen and everything. I thought that was kind of fascinating.
Yeah, and also how Diana is determined to be a different mother. Jamie.
Of course, Jamie would say that. Of course.
Jamie, I always want to do that with my too.
But what do you guys think of Josh O'Connor's, like, his portrayal of Charles?
I think he does a very good
He
job.
does the perfect thing. He does what I love is that it's so subtle, but all the royals do is they stand slightly sort of hunched back.
I hated that.
But Charles stands like that, though. He gets it so right.
But I was like, all the money in the world, like you went to the finest education, but he still stands like this. And
You
like,
still have drunk
stand
posture.
up straight, for God's sake. It pissed me off during the whole season, the whole like hunchback.
Margaret Thatcher, it was a Gillian Anderson. Her accent actually annoyed me because it was I went to go look up videos of Margaret Thatcher because I needed to know if this lady really spoke. So like it was heavily affected the way she spoke. And Margaret Thatcher didn't speak like that badly the way Gillian
That's
Anderson
me when
did
I
it.
go to the dates and I want to sound more masculine. That's how I speak. But Margaret Thatcher did actually have to go. She fully went to speech therapy to lower the pitch of her voice. I think with The Crown, you sometimes get the good speech coach and sometimes you get the bad one, and it's very apparent which characters get which.
But I mean, other than that, I think she did an excellent job.
Yeah, she
Gillian
really
Anderson.
just carrying that much hairspray in your hair. I love that was a big plot point.
And I did love the meetings between her and the Queen, and that these two women are running the country kind of thing, and how different the meetings with Thatcher compared to the other prime ministers that she should have meetings with. I found all their meetings really interesting, especially when they were butting heads.
What do we
How
think?
polite the Queen had to be. Still trying to be super polite. Like, I hate you, but I'm super polite about this.
I don't think. What?
Olivia Colman is the Queen. Is she? I don't think she's doing. She's too Olivia Colman and not enough the Queen.
I think so too.
I don't mind her.
I don't mind it either.
I don't mind her. It's not. It doesn't annoy me. I can accept it.
I can accept it. I've come to a place in my life.
I can accept it. I don't hate it.
Accept.
I think she looked more like the Queen this season.
Yeah.
And
when she went with those glasses.
That one when she was on the plane and they were busy doing like the speech and with the glasses on, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And I think she got a few more mannerisms right. But I agree with Fanie. I think she just seemed too Olivia Colman in it. And I understand why they cast her. But I mean, I think what worked with Claire Foy was that nobody knew her and she like truly embodied the young Elizabeth.
Claire Foy was amazing. Oh God, Claire Foy was amazing. And Matt Smith. But I just love Matt Smith because I love Matt Smith.
No, I didn't like him.
I love Matt Smith. I love Matt Smith because he's the doctor. So Matt Smith can do no wrong in my eyes.
Phillip is better looking than Matt Smith.
Actual Philip is better. That's rude.
No.
That's rude, Caryn.
Philip?
I will
Oh,
fight
yes.
you for Matt Smith.
He's ready to fight.
My doctor, are you
Fight for Matt.
crazy?
He's good as a doctor,
my
who even,
doctor.
but not as
Not as the
No,
I
I
also
love him.
agreed with Matt as well. I wasn't convinced
I
with
love
him,
Matt
but
Smith.
this
this Philip. Yeah.
This Philip is getting it really right. But oh
Yes.
my god.
just like
Philip
the
is
funny clips and like the little things that he says, these manages him, and
But Tobias Menzies is amazing because every time I see him in something, I forget he was in like a previous thing. Like he does his character so well. He embodies the character so well. Like, oh yeah, he was also in that thing. Like, wasn't he in Game of Thrones? Wasn't he Housefred? Karen? Yes, like I completely forgot he was in Mutali just because now he's Philip and he's doing Philip so well. This is
Game of
Philip.
Thrones 2, Outlander 2.
Outlander. Oh,
I've never
so
seen.
she does asking about Helena Bonham Carter, and I did want to bring that up because I thought she was excellent. I love
Because
Helena
she
Bonham
grew up
Carter.
in that world. Because her parents are aristocrats. I think she really got the rudeness, like how that
yes.
charming rudeness works for that I think the Prince Charles character didn't quite get.
Any episode with Princess Margaret for me was just
yes.
I always enjoyed it, especially her standalone episode too.
Yes.
I was like, anything with her, I'm just like, wow, she's my favorite moment was when Margaret Thatcher was sitting in the drawing room and she was sitting on Queen Victoria's tree.
Yes. What are you doing?
Scene for me, I was like, yeah, you tell her, you know. I was like, somebody, and obviously the Queen has to have like a
the quorum.
approach to everything. So for Margaret, she was like, you know, who gives a shit? I'm gonna tell you. And when she said maybe you should think about having fun now and then, I was like, okay, Margaret's my girl.
I love Margaret.
Die with me, Margaret.
Margot.
Do you guys?
Margot, I love the family names. I love the family names. That's
they call her Margot. I love that.
Lilibet.
Lilibet. Yeah.
Margaret Rose.
Picasso was in love with her.
Picasso.
Apparently Picasso was in love with her. Who's her? Oh, Princess Margaret. Oh. Okay.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Jamie. Did I think you would have been able to pass the Balmoral test?
No.
No.
I know me. I've
been to a lot of Enhia Kerk social events. Thank you very much. If I can convince menopausal Afrikaans women I'm not straight, but at least, you know, respectably bisexual, I think.
Respectably bisexual. Oh, God.
I just know,
but
wasn't something awkward.
Maggie Thatcher not bringing outside shoes and going out and out in those shoes.
I mean, that was just stupid.
But I was just like, why didn't you tell her in the yard already? You could see she wasn't wearing the right shoes. You could see she was wearing like this bright blue. Surely you could have told her to go change instead of sending her back.
I think it shows again the disconnect between the Queen and and everybody else. I mean, she just doesn't give a shit. So she's like, if you're gonna wear those shoes, that's on you. And like, I'm just gonna go do my own thing, and then I'm gonna tell you, oh, why are you wearing those? But I just disconnect, and I feel as though not just with Thatcher, but with everybody else, the Queen is running in her own little world.
But I think that's what Philip says when he says to Diana, she's the center. We are all just we are all what does he call her? Outsiders. We're all outsiders. And she's the center.
Everybody just wants the Queen's approval, and everybody just wants the Queen to love them.
Oh, but how doesn't the Queen give Charles a dressing down when both of them tried to like ambush her? I think it was at Christmas.
Yeah.
At first, Diana says she wants to talk to her, and then Charles comes, and then she just lays into him. I was like, I would go dig my own grave after that.
Sophia, you were saying previously?
Previously before Zayaan came, I was saying that I don't believe that the Queen ever spoke to Charles. I just don't see her telling Charles off like that about his marriage. I can see them sitting down and saying, the one that was the most convincing was when the Queen and Prince Phillip were sitting, and they called Diana and Charles
yes.
and asked them, do you want to be in this marriage? And then Diana was like, yes, of course I do. And she was like, okay, done, bye. And that I can see happening. Her going, you know what? I'm done. I did my part. Moving on to other things. I can see that.
Yeah.
Her shouting at Charles, I don't know. I don't think she cares that much. I think she cares about the reputation of the crown, so therefore she would maybe be done with them. But in terms of like, you know, I just don't think that she was...
But I mean, I think also we have to remember that this is a show for entertainment, and it's not. It's not only going to be. There's going to be made up parts.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have to add the drama for the drama.
Talking about like made up parts, sorry, I just wanted to say the episode where the guy breaks into Buckingham Palace.
Oh, that's real.
Yeah, but you never actually had a conversation with her.
No, I mean,
he
didn't.
It was such a great writing in the episode because it like shows you, oh, she didn't know about the unemployment crisis, and he sort of like brings that to her, and it shows other like more ways of them like humanizing her. So like. So it makes it like, oh my word, now she's talking to Margaret Thatcher about the unemployment crisis. And Margaret Thatcher's like, nope, my father had to work for whatever he had. You know, we know that story. But when it comes to privilege. But yeah, like it does show good writing. Like, what do you guys think about this kind of their ways of trying to humanize the Queen by creating these sort of scenarios?
I mean, I think there's a lot we don't know about the Queen. You think it's what?
I think it's cuck. I don't think she saw a real person and suddenly got radicalized to end apartheid, because that's the story they're trying to sell us.
Yeah.
Like someone drank Johannesburger wine. I've had Johannesburger wine. It's not that good. And now she's a socialist. Like that's the storyline they're trying to push. And I think that's propaganda and it's bullshit. Like, give us an ugly person. Queen, which is great, and I'd love to see it.
I was
impressed with the portrayal of the Queen. I just thought that they were trying to make her seem like this granny and this mom that everybody just wants to be loved by, and she was this hero of, you know, I didn't buy it for 1 second. It was nice to watch, like, you know, as a TV show. Does it change my view on the Queen? It doesn't. I still think of it a certain way, and it doesn't change that. I mean, Prince Charles and Camilla on there, and it's changed everything yet again. But the Queen, I was just like, okay, sure.
I feel like the Queen, with the Queen compared to other members of the royal family, is that it's so guarded with what she is like personally, because now they have social media, and like the princes are on social media and they do the stuff and they talk to the public, but she doesn't actually do interviews as much as the other members of the royal family. So what she's like is so closely guarded that all we have is this perception of her. So like PS is like you just have this perception of what she is, but we don't really know who she is.
I think she tried in the previous season. I think it was season 2 or season 3 when they had like the BBC following them around.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
the Kardashians.
Episode. You watch the real footage of that because it's even better.
I thought it was locked away.
Got locked away
on YouTube where they're like trying to have a picnic, and she talks about a foreign minister calling someone a gorilla. It's like she's presenting children's television whenever she talks to anyone. Do you know? I think they were all on Urbanol from 1962 till like probably 1992. That's why she had such a horrible year. That was her Annus Horribilis. Her Urbanol script ended, and she had
I do think that the royal family might have some kind of medication that they take.
Definitely.
Someone's on antidepressants or someone's on anxiety medication.
Must be.
Well, I mean, if you have the money for all the medical care, you're gonna do what you can, which is why they live for so long as well. I mean, it's nice to live long when you got to live next door.
True, very true. Yeah.
Okay, wait. I want to go back to Diana and Charles.
What?
I've gone from Camilla to Diana in the course of this panel.
You have actually. It's really Camilla over there.
But then again, Camilla's the one more likely to become queen at this point. So
I mean, true.
She wouldn't be queen. She'd be queen. She'd be princess royal, or she'd be queen consort. I'm sure.
Yeah, no, queen consort. Yeah.
Queen consort, king consort.
Yeah.
Queen consort.
Especially if Charles takes the throne whilst his mother's still alive, which I think she's hoping she'll outlive him.
Yeah, I don't think she wants it. Well, we will talk about that more later.
I think we're all hoping that she will outlive him.
Yeah, keep that thought. Let's go back to Charles and Camilla and Diana. So why do you guys think it was so difficult for Charles to A, like let go of Camilla, and B, love Diana?
I think because
I don't think any of us can understand that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that it's such a. I have no answer for you actually.
I
But
think
Philip knows.
in the end, in the end, I truly believe that Camilla and Charles are meant to be together, and he was never meant to be with Diana. And I do, before the crown, I had a lot of sympathy as I got over the relationship. I had a lot of sympathy for him and the relationship, because obviously it was an arranged marriage and he didn't really want to be with Diana, and it was all these rules and guidelines that he had to go through. So I had a lot of like sympathy for them as an adult now, like an adult and an adult. I said it in an American way, that's why I predicted myself. Oh my god, with my husband too much.
Our husband's American, guys, don't forget.
Just by the way.
By the way, in case we forgot.
Okay. But yeah, so obviously the crown has changed my perception yet again. But I did have a lot of sympathy for them before, because they were soulmates. I do believe they are. They should have just been together, and all of this drama, all of this mess could have been resolved
Avoided.
if just said, you know what, guys, enough is enough. This is done. We're done. You get to marry Camilla, be with each other. But it just wasn't.
It took too long to get to that point.
Yeah.
But do you think that, do you think they would have been happy? I mean, there's like, without the long distance, because we have to admit the fact that Camilla was in love with Andrew Parker Bowles as well.
True.
And a lot of people in the chat have said like Camilla, it's not necessarily a healthy relationship. Like he needs, like as Camilla herself said, like, no, Andrew doesn't need me like you do. It's almost like it's a very needy type relationship, and maybe it's grown now where they're both mature and they both can deal with their emotions better, or especially him. But back then he needed someone who like as Rashida said, like played to his ego and his pride. And Diana didn't do that, because he could have made someone that was hotter than him. He could have made He could have made someone who was more charming than him. But but yeah, so that's I'm like, do you think it would have worked back then? I don't know.
It's too conservative. Can you imagine a head of state getting divorced in the 80s? I mean, I know in the 90s in George, which is the 80s in the real world, divorce was still quite scandalous. And I think a lot of it, we forget that the Prince of Wales and the Queen are the head of the Church of England. They're religious heads, and that's their only actual authority that they have left. So that's why I don't think Camilla could ever be queen, not because of Diana, but because of the religious aspect, because of the Church of England. Otherwise, that's why, what was it? Because Margaret was talking about with the Catholic priest. She couldn't be with him because he's Catholic. Yeah, that's true.
But even if it was a Catholic priest, you wouldn't have been able to be with her too. I'm just like, I don't understand.
Oh yeah. Is you a Catholic priest?
Yeah,
Margaret is just
no,
like doing her own thing for this series. She was like, I'm gonna buy gay priests, I'm gonna get
Margot.
wasted, I'm gonna get lung cancer, I'm just gonna do everything I've ever.
I'm gonna go to my private island. But I think I think he converted to Catholicism. I think he said that. So I don't think he was originally Catholic. But Mia asked in the chat, do you think Diana would still be alive if that had happened? And yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think because she wouldn't have had all the, she wouldn't have died in that way.
I mean, we don't know.
We don't know if she would have died or not. You can't say that, but I don't think she would have been hounded by the paparazzi in that way. She wouldn't have been that center of attention like that. So
she would be alive because people would have lost interest, not because she would have been, not because of her position as a senior royal.
Yeah.
I think she still would have been hounded by the paparazzi. I still think her life would have been, you know, are we talking about if
they divorced before Harry was born?
I still think that they would have like hounded her. And
I think if they never got together, maybe.
Oh, they never got together. Yeah, she would be living a charming life.
Yeah.
She would be, you know, we wouldn't have William and we wouldn't have Harry.
But would there be that interest in the royal family if it wasn't for Diana? I don't think if Harry looked Camilla's children, nobody would care.
No, Diana, UK would be a republic.
So Mia says, oh my God, Diana would be gardening right now.
No, she would have been on the stage. She would have been performing for people that actually
during COVID.
Diana would be performing as herself in The Crown, and Meghan Markle would.
She would have been on Zoom doing like little.
Zoom.
This is my
Diana would have been on Broad City.
Broad City. She would be Olivia Colman. That's who she'd be. So you guys actually I must say, you guys actually must jump through my questions all the time. But like, what is your it's like I'm not even moderating this thing. So what was your like favorite episode of the season? Like, which one stood out for you?
I watched it like almost in one sitting, so I don't know which episode it starts or begins.
He just has an emotional journey.
I had to review it for Channel 24, so I had to like binge it. So I have actually no idea where episode starts or ends.
I took my time. I knew that I didn't want to go through it. Like I just knew that I was gonna love this season, and I told myself, let's take a break. And there was sort of a lot to like take in. It's quite a heavy show, you know, with like all the topics that they were covering. So I decided I'm gonna watch 3 a day or 2 a day and just like ease myself into it. And then afterwards, I would find myself after the second episode watching, the wedding of Diana and Charles. I would sit and just literally watch. And I watched like a few other documentaries about Kate Middleton, and then I would watch like interviews with.
There's a few documentaries on Kate Middleton.
What's there to document?
Did you see the meme?
I actually feel like there's a lot going on there by William and Kate that's behind the scenes for the Crown too.
Mia's like that. The fashion show where he met her.
Oh yes,
always hearing about that fashion show.
Out.
I was like, Schroeder was saying she really liked the Balmoral test episode.
And that was really good. I think was that the episode with Philip and Diana where they go hunting?
Yes.
That's a very I enjoyed that purely for that scene. It was really good.
I don't have a specific.
Philip is my guy.
I don't know. I don't particularly have like a favorite episode, but I have like a favorite moment, and I think that was when which was clashed by obviously watching it on YouTube. But when they were dancing in Australia,
that was
and it was a moment where I was like, it gave me hope. I was like, maybe they can make this marriage work. Like, you
I
know,
was, I was shipping it for a minute. I knew it was coming.
5 minutes later.
And then obviously, and then if you watch the actual YouTube, like, of them dance, the actual footage of them dancing, and I was like, oh my God, I hate this guy. Like, it's nothing like the clown. He was literally like swooping her down like this. You know, when they were dancing fast down, you could see her kind of just like, oh, my God.
She was like, farewell. She was at the real dance.
Like a doll. He was like just thrusting her away. And I was like,
he was pushing her around Kelvin Grove. Like,
yeah, he was just literally doing this. And I was like, what is he doing? I just wanted to, ooh. It was infuriating watching that. But the actual episode, the actual scene where she was dancing, I thought it was so beautiful. And then also the actress Emma, she looked so much like Diana. There was a shot where she turned and it was like a side profile, and she looked so much like Princess Diana. I was like, wow, it gave me goosebumps watching that actual scene in that shot. I thought that was beautiful.
You were still laughing at that question.
I love Mia's question. Mia asked, do you think they only slept together twice?
No, they only slept together once because Prince Harry is the bodyguard's boy.
No, don't say that.
Have you seen the pictures of them next to each other? Why do you think he hung onto his hair? He got real genes, not that fucking knockoff wind stuff where they have to marry.
I refuse to believe.
Fine development.
No.
I refuse to believe. I mean, afterwards as well, I was looking at like the guy. What's his name? James.
My legs cramping. Because do you know how dedicated I am to this panel discussion?
Amazing.
This is how dedicated
I love the commitment.
A woman.
Truly adore the dedication.
Yeah.
I've got sweatpants on.
Yeah, I'm gonna like flip-flops on.
Me also and dressed like, yeah.
Same.
I have tights on. Nobody's gonna see me from the shoulders down.
But I thought about that. I thought about the intimacy quite a bit as well watching it, because obviously they sleep in different bedrooms, and I questioned it as well. I'm like, how many times did they actually sleep together? Did they have that physical intimacy as well, or did they try, or was it arranged? Was it only like moments like after those the dancing scene? I mean, was that the only time when she was on good behavior that he would, you know, be physical with her?
Maybe in the beginning.
Good behavior.
I think maybe in the beginning they were.
I don't know how you could, like, for me, Princess Di falls into that Audrey Hepburn category. I can't speak to the heterosexual experience, but I'll try. She's too like beautiful to even imagine in a sexual way. She's like a goddess from above, and she comes down and she shines the light on you, and then maybe somehow she'll get pregnant. But like, I can't imagine. Like Fergie, however, I could see like 4 times a day.
I don't want to imagine that. Like, I don't want to imagine that.
Oh God. Yeah.
I do feel like that Diana was such a beautiful. I think she was this. I mean, she was a woman at the end of the day. She was a sexual being, and I think that's why she went out to go get it somewhere else. And you know, again, I think Charles would only be intimate with her on good behavior if she was good to him, or if she was, you know, be nice to him or something. I don't know. I can't see him having sex with her without like some kind of thing behind it, you know. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Like just like maybe just and also that he needed an ear in a spare.
Oh.
Oh. But I mean, I don't know.
You know? So I mean,
I think real life Charles seems a little bit more chill. I think maybe in the early years of their marriage, like I think he maybe tried to make it work, and she was probably just so keen.
She'd be like, yes. Thank you.
Actually, I can't imagine Princess Di being good in bed.
No, don't say that. I do. I see her
Well, I can see
I see it because she's
Not gonna lie,
fun, sexy.
I've never thought about it. It's not something that's ever crossed my mind until right now.
I get what you mean. Like this young Princess Diana, I also don't think so. But like older Princess Diana,
Yes.
I can maybe.
Her and Dodie on that yacht. Why do you think she's glowing like that? She's getting picked down.
Definitely though.
She's sitting on that diving ramp on the yacht to get a rest. That's what she's doing.
She looked beautiful though, like on that yacht, like in that black one piece, and the legs were so long, and she
I thought Fanie was gonna dress the doll now in.
I've even got the
Oh, she's just so beautiful. She's so.
What do you guys think about them not showing the wedding though?
Look at this ad on the back. How?
What do you guys think of them not showing the wedding?
I was fine with it. I don't think that they needed to do it. I was just like the actual shot of her behind. I thought that was enough.
That was enough.
I didn't think that they needed to actually show the whole wedding. I mean, for what?
Also, that wedding, that dress was a mess. It needed to be ironed. You see it? It was so crumpled.
My mom actually said like she had like the big puffs as well because of like the Diana too. And I was like, this is pedos. This is just really. This is not.
St. George's Cathedral in town. St. George's Cathedral, and they've got the second-hand shop next door. When they have their clothing sale, they have an exact replica of Princess Anne's wedding dress, which she designed herself. If you want to see some bad royal wedding dresses, it looks like a straight jacket with lace. It comes up to here. She made it like medieval. My mom dressed like a Victorian woman. My mom dressed like a Victorian ghost. I wish she went to the puffy Diana side, but I think there's a lot of matric farewell dresses 81 to 89 that have been worse for wear because of that decision. I can't find this Princess Di yacht post-sexual glow.
Okay, wait.
Is that what you're looking for?
Let's just talk
I do find our true spiritual guide.
Spiritual guide.
What do you guys think? Okay, I think I've probably made my views on this quite known, but what do you think of Princess Anne? I just love her. I'm sorry.
Fucking icon.
I love her more.
Before The Crown, I had absolutely no opinion on Princess Anne at all. She was just none for me. And then watching this show, I love her so much now.
I am Princess Anne.
Literally jumping for joy.
I didn't have any like Princess Anne like feelings. I remember when I did have a moment where Donald Trump went to Buckingham Palace.
Love it.
She was like, shake his hand, and I was like, you go, girl. Yes. But
did she refuse to shake his hand?
Yeah,
she didn't. No, she was standing. So
and the Queen was like, come, and
the Queen was like, come on, and she was like. She was pretending that she didn't know what protocol was, but meanwhile she was like, I'm not touching this guy's hand, and I don't blame her. So,
and I love it scene after that where like it's Justin Trudeau and I think it was Boris Johnson as well. There was another like head of state. I can't remember who it was. Could be the French president. And Princess Anne was standing there, and they were like skinnering about Donald Trump, and Justin Trudeau was like, yes, he's late because he always has rallies, and she's laughing, and I'm like, I love this girl.
I love her.
She's just got such a great vibe.
Such a great vibe as well. I mean, I obviously didn't like the way that she spoke about Diana. It's like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Because Diana
Anne was real. Anne was true to herself. She didn't smile to Diana in real life and then talk cuck. She talked cuck to her face, and that's why I
can appreciate that.
My kind of girl, definitely. No. Okay, so then let's go on to Prince Andrew. How do we feel about the actor? How do we feel about the portrayal of him?
I thought he was okay. Like he didn't feature much. I felt like he was I don't want to say like he was also like a side character with a fringe royal. So like even his story, his wedding to Fergie, all of that, like they didn't even show
You know,
her. I was
Fergie's my
like, where
favorite
is
royal.
she? Because apparently Diana and Fergie were so close.
Yeah.
And then there was none of that. That I thought that they could have maybe done more with Andrew.
Hopefully next
and
season, if she gets up to tuck in the 90s. I know, because Fergie, her secret life.
I love the show and tell.
Maybe next season that they'll touch
I hope they do. I hope they do that
maybe
for next
this
season.
season they were touching on Margaret Thatcher, and then it was more about Diana and Margaret Thatcher than anything else. But for me, the scene where she was talking about, she was worried about Prince Andrew. She was talking to, it was the end of the episode of like the favorite child, and Prince Phillip was like, "Oh, your favorite," and then I was like, I was like, oh,
yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
didn't even.
he's famously your favorite. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why I didn't think about it, because obviously now with the whole Epstein thing, I was like, clearly he's.
Well, he was at Pizza Hut at the time.
Yeah.
But
I also diarize every time I go to Pizza Hut. I know exactly when and where I'm at Pizza Hut. Almost too well.
But I like the fact that they said, like, I mean, I know that they were like tetchy about what to do with Andrew. I could tell that, like, but I feel like the actor who played him did a good job. And they also, when they introduced him and he's talking about this young girl, I mean, like the actress in the movie that was like 17, and the Queen is like, is that even legal?
Yes. Oh, but that's like some Roman Polanski early 80s, like, ooh, that's edgy now.
Yeah.
It was real, but it was disgusting, and it was real. I think it was one of the few nice historical little punctuations.
Yeah, I think the town like sprinkled that on it to like show everyone, yes, we know what Prince Andrew was up to, what he did. This is some shade for him, because it was like especially thinking of him now, it's like ew.
And Edward?
Oh, shame.
Edward was funny.
Sure.
I was just like, shame.
So what did you say, Fanie?
There's a lot of speculation that Edward's gay.
Isn't he just like, shame, but doesn't he have like learning disabilities?
I have learning disabilities. I'm gay.
What is learning disabilities? I don't know why. Like, what is that link, Caryn?
Dyslexia makes me sad.
Public a lot because he has learning disabilities. Because the Queen was saying,
when you have a learning disability and be gay, you gotta choose.
Choose your struggle.
Sorry, guys. You can't have learning disabilities and be gay. Sorry.
Really progressive here at IGN Crushing On. We're breaking barriers. We're like...
So at least people know it's not scripted.
We're laughing. I'm laughing far too much.
Okay. On that note, so let's talk about what's coming up next. So what do you think of the new cast, like Imelda Staunton as Elizabeth?
I'm scared. I hate it because of Harry Potter. I've never been able to watch anything else because of us, and I'm just like, oh, in my mind, I just think of a pink dress, thou shall not lie, or whatever, and I'm just like, oh.
But I think that's great because finally she's going to be a villain, because that's what she is.
Good point. That is a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I
How excited for 6'2" Princess Diana.
I love Elizabeth Debicki. I think that she is so graceful and so beautiful, and she's like sexy also. So she has like, you know, that kind of vibe about her. So I'm like, you know, that's what we want to see in an older Diana.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that confidence and that like that sexiness coming up. I can't
have they cast everyone yet?
No. So they have Jonathan Pryce is Prince Phillip,
yes,
which I hate. I think they should have Charles Dance to be older.
Oh my God, he would have been such an amazing Phillip.
Instead of making him Mountbatten, they could have made somebody else Mountbatten. They should have made him older Prince, because he looks like old Prince Phillip.
Older Prince Phillip.
And I mean, I guess that's why they made him like Prince Philip's uncle, but I mean, like, you know what I mean?
He
Like,
could have actually, he could have actually, maybe didn't want to.
Jonathan Pryce looks so small. And he's
Yeah. And I know
Guys,
Philip
I'm
is
just
like
looking at
basically dead at the moment, but
basically dead. But
that man is 100% dead, I'm telling you.
but I think, so when do you think it's gonna end? Like, so they're gonna do
Isn't it-
season 5 and 6, and they said it's the same sort of time period, those 2 seasons. So when,
Isn't it ending after 6?
yeah. So what
Yeah.
phase in the royals' lives do you think it will end?
What was the time period? for
Middleton.
this season?
I
Was
feel
it 10
like
years?
Sorry.
Because they're going, it's the Queen's life. I think they'll probably go, what was her big jubilee, her diamond jubilee? What year was that?
That wasn't that 2011.
Yeah, because that's when she became the longest reigning queen.
Yeah, I think
That
that would.
was
When was it? The Queen.
2012.
2012, yeah, that's the one. But that's also when Kate Middleton came into the picture. So I feel as though they're gonna briefly maybe touch on that. Just like it's not gonna be an actual like storyline.
Just Pippa's bum in that bridesmaid's dress, and then we'll know.
that'll be the closing image of the season. But I know, like, I just want to maybe throw this date out also. 2002 is the year that Princess Margaret and the Queen Mother died.
Yes, that's. I think they're gonna. I think it's gonna stay until then.
I think that might. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because they're running out of characters.
No, they're not. They're getting. There's like
Prince
Harry and
George, Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis, Archie.
Eugenie, I want to watch a whole mini series about Eugenie because she is unafraid to be insane.
Eugenie. What is
She cut Ed Sheeran's face. She cut his face.
Oh
with
yes, I do remember
sword.
this with a sword.
That's the, I want to see her killing subpar musicians. Ed Sheeran first, Skrillex next. Afterwards, she's gonna show Agnes and Julia Stone where they fucking belong. Kick them out of the Commonwealth. Then she can. Then, oh my god, I want to see the bare knuckle fight, Princess Eugenie and the Kiffness to the death.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'll pay anything for the Kiffness to just fall over in any scene.
I like now 100% want to see this series of like Princess Eugenie like battling musicians. That's all. Like just like standing in the night going out and killing musicians.
That's the whole show.
But did you see
in season 6?
Did you see that Dominic West is in talks to play Prince Charles?
Oh,
I
that
did
would be
see that.
perfect for him. Go for it. Cheating.
Wait, let me read him.
He's the one that cheated on his wife now. But I get what the whole cheating thing, but he's a bit too like nice.
He's too hot. He's too
Yeah,
hot.
he's too nice.
It's like
looking.
getting Jude Law to play the Pope.
What? He would play the
Jude
Pope?
Law. Jude Law was young Pope.
Oh,
Yeah, but he wasn't
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
specific person. He's just a pope. Whereas Dominic West is Prince Charles. I didn't see it.
I don't see it either.
I didn't see it
Who would
either.
you cast
I
as
mean,
Prince Charles? 90s Prince Charles.
I don't even have like an image of who could play it.
Neither do I. I can't think.
Literally.
Colin Firth.
Colin
No,
Firth.
we're not going to do that to Colin Firth. We're going to make it.
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he looks tough now.
But he's a bit too charming still.
Still, yeah.
The Undoing has changed my opinion of Hugh Grant.
But he's still playing Hugh Grant in the. It's just like a homicidal Hugh Grant. Still Hugh Grant.
I mean, that was the implied ending of 4 Weddings and a Funeral, that he killed Andy McDowell, and that's why I love the movie.
Dad.
Karen is gone. Karen has left the chat.
Undoing is good. Undoing
Yeah,
is
Mia, Undoing is very good.
so
I
good.
did.
But okay, let's wish list. Okay, we guessing what we think will happen in season 5 and 6. But like, if you could see one thing like dramatized in season 5 and 6, what would you love to see?
Where did we end now? We ended with
Diana's sad face.
Diana's sad face at Christmas.
Yeah.
In that
Yeah,
like
that's
early 90s.
Can I see what I want to see? Sorry.
1989.
Like something popped in my head and I don't want it to go. And I know I wrote this question, but I feel like I want to say this. I want to see the Fergie toe sucking scandal.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, yes, yes.
I really want to see that.
I'm back. I'm back.
Without that, I can go without it. There's a lot of things I can go without. That's one thing I can.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pia on this one.
I'm also not. I'm not somebody who's ever been interested in Fergie, so I'm also like I don't know if I care much about it to like wanted to have. Like,
I think I want to see the relationship between her and Diana. I want to see that.
But maybe like the old town, like it will make me want to like invest more in Fergie and find out more about her life because I honestly I don't know anything about her that much.
But talking about a tumultuous like relationship between a couple, her and Andrew, like they can't quit each other. They still together.
Oh no. Yeah. They keep coming back to each other.
Like they keep
also
leaving and
insane. That's why they're great.
I want to see that. I love crazy couples.
My sister just showed me that's my mom's wedding dress.
It's 100%.
Fire emoji, fire emoji.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's 100% inspired by Diana.
I was like, why?
Diana was a fashion icon at the time, that's why.
Not that dress though. Not that.
I don't think I wonder how much size she had in that dress.
The beautiful black off-the-shoulder dress when she got out of the car and she's wearing that silky stockings.
The revenge dress.
The revenge dress.
Oh, the revenge dress.
I can't wait to see them portray that on the crown. Like that's just she looks so beautiful. So beautiful.
Fanie and Zayaan, what would you like to see?
Dan, you go. I'm
still thinking. I mean, there's a lot that has to happen still. So I think what I'm not looking forward to is that funeral. I know it's coming. I know it's coming, and I'm not looking forward to that. But I think you know what I'm looking. I want to see the Queen's reaction to the fallout after her death, and if she felt any guilt for her part or what maybe she could have done more or whatever and stuff like that. And I think I'm looking forward to see William and Harry becoming more
sexy.
Like, well, okay, maybe, but I mean, like characters, like people, because at the moment they just like random children running around.
It was so cute in the car, like dancing along to her.
Yeah, that was the first time that they were actually like, oh, these are little human people because they like dancing in the car with her and stuff. Because otherwise they're just like background characters at the moment. So I'm looking forward to like that.
The little boy looked a lot like William at one occasion.
Yeah.
It, like just like glances of him side and like I was like, whoa, that kind of looks like William. Harry on that hand, I don't know where they got that.
Oh no.
They got their boy from. Yeah, come here.
Come here. Come here.
Come here, be Harry.
If I do outside. Just walk here quick.
Fanie, what do you want to see?
Oh, so much. I want to see the untold story of Prince Harry's like benders.
Oh yes, I was wondering if they're gonna show Harry going like when he did that old Nazi thing.
He wore the Nazi costume.
Yeah, when he was a little bit he went off the edge a little bit there.
When he went to Tiger and then kind of
to Tiger.
Mia's talking cucked out in the comments.
Just wait, I'm gonna
Timothy Chalamet. Oh my god.
Okay, so one last question and then we will answer. I saw some questions in the chat, but if you guys have any other questions, like it's easier for me to see in the Q&A section, but okay. Do you think that the royal family will last after Queen Elizabeth? Guys.
I think so. I think they're too deeply entrenched. Especially with William. I think they the Brits still love William.
I think we underestimate how the British.
If it jumps to William, I agree with you, Zayaan.
Hey?
What did you say?
If it jumps to William, I agree with you.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think people are going to be as They're not going to love Charles as king, but I think everyone's waiting for William to be king.
I don't know. I think we underestimate the British people, and like I think they love tradition at the end of the day, and I think that they would still that kind of the family to still be there. With Charles, I would hope that he would just give it up and let William, but I know that's never going to happen.
No, he's waited far too long.
Far too long, yeah. Far too long. But I would want him to just take the L. And the thing is, like, he should have taken the L when he liked and wanted Camilla. He should have just been like, you know what?
Be like his uncle.
Method. I'm just gonna go love my love, and that's it. You know, who else can take the crown after me?
Prince
Andrew. Where did you get that from? Because I love it. Because I've been looking online for one, but it's so expensive.
Secondhand Rose in Claremont. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll just pop in my car and get over there down the road to Claremont. Wait, how's it? The black sheep. I love this jersey. It's so cool. I love it. But yeah, I think that Charles should have just given it up, and you should have just walked away from it. But he's his ego and
South African would take Chelsea.
Kenneth Swanepoel.
Storm, whatever. What was her name? Christina Storm. I'm over Tony as
no, poor Chelsea.
I'm over Tony. It's like playing 50 seconds in someone's South African actress. That's a little thing.
Did she actually act, or was she just singing though?
I don't know.
I think Amore was just a singer.
Roxy Burger.
No. They'll find somewhere. They'll find an expert in somewhere.
Fun fact though, guys, do you know that the woman who played the literary agent in that episode about apartheid with that guy, the woman, she's South African. She's actually the niece of Helen Suzman, and then she moved to the UK and she became like a very big theater actress there. But she was like very much against apartheid and stuff like that. So so it was quite interesting that they got a South African woman to play someone in that. And like, if you know, you don't know. I thought it was quite interesting. That's my fact I submitted to IMDb. I don't know if they're gonna take it. I was like, why did you have this here? This is interesting.
I love you so much. You're so random.
My opinion about the royal family is that I don't know if it will last. I think that they might become like the European royals, like just just rich families that don't.
They're gonna have to get jobs.
Yeah, but I mean, like Beatrix and them do it anyway. I feel like they will be rich for a long time, and then they'll probably be celebrity. They'll become like normal influencer celebrity people.
Philip will live forever.
But
they are weekend at Bernie's. That's what they're doing with Philip right now.
Okay, the last 5 minutes. The one question if you guys have any other questions, just let me know. But the one question we're getting all the time is like, who would you cast in the various roles? So I want to go with William and Harry. And who would you guys?
Oh my god, I can't think of who.
I have one for Harry. Domhnall Gleeson.
Oh. Isn't he a little bit old for Harry though?
I was thinking of him as like Earl Spencer. I don't know enough white actors.
And then it has to be very specifically British. I mean, it doesn't have to be British, I suppose, but it helps.
I think they would want to keep it besides
Gillian.
But he was
Gillian Anderson is British. She's English. She was born there, so she's sort of dual citizenship.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She does the voice.
But she does have an English accent, doesn't she?
I don't know if she has an English accent, but she does a very good one. I know because I have to watch Room on the Broom 5 million times with my children. And listen to be the voice of the witch.
Have you watched? She did a very good Miss Havisham in a mini series for Great Expectations. Sexy Miss Havisham.
Zendaya as Meghan Markle. I feel like the constant day is every like light-skinned, like American.
I like the idea of unknown people coming in, taking on the show, and just making it their own without like our previous expectations of like who they were before. So, I mean, I like that. I don't specifically need a famous person or a famous actor to kind of take on the role of the Crown, because I think the actual TV show and the script is so well done that it just it falls on that content. So, for me,
I agree.
It doesn't matter as long as they do it well, I guess.
I feel like they're always gonna cast like famous people because they want that kind of like followership. Like they would know.
Not necessarily, Caryn, because look at Diana. This girl's like
no, I know, but I mean,
drama school. That's a big role.
No, I mean I know that, but I mean like for like they're gonna have flagpole actors, like like Olivia Colman. Like
He's gonna, I mean, Prince Phillip's gonna be this person. That's always gonna be like for like.
I mean, it bothered me so much in the last season how they showed young Margaret with blue eyes zooming out to Helena Bonham Carter with brown eyes.
Oh,
I was like, why? Why couldn't you just not show the child's eyes? Like, it was so blatant. It's like Harry Potter. I can't deal with it.
Oh God.
Let's not get on that.
Harry Potter doesn't have green eyes.
Let's not start with that, Harry.
But if that's it, if nobody has any more questions, we have about 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I also think Harry, like,
well, I mean,
Harry and William should be new actors.
Prince Harry or Prince William.
Prince William, I can see it. How tall is Harry? How tall is Harry?
I don't know.
P, you're taking photos in the mirror.
I'm sure he radiates short man energy.
I'm trying to capture the moment.
I say definitely get from like the Mountbatten side. Because they also like tallish. There was that one guy from 1917 could be good. The small one or the big one from 1917? The main guy or the blonde boy? Shame, I don't think they will. I don't know if they'll get as far as the weddings. Just one of those guys.
Just one of them.
Choose one.
I don't think they'll get as far as the wedding, but the weddings of the other two, of Harry and William. I do think they're going to show Bender Harry before they end it. Wow.
I want underage. I want to see Harry at Stone's art.
You want to see him or you saw him?
Underage drinking. I want to see Harry underage drinking.
No, this is the one thing. I mean, like, I know Charles and Camilla, like the whole PR, they've tried to like, make sure that the image is like appropriate now and blah 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 blah. But I don't want them to kind of tarnish Harry.
I think the thing with Harry is that he was going through something at that time, and that's how he got through, and he sort of grew as a person, I would like to think, and became who he is now. He had to go through that. But whereas with Charles and Camilla, it's like, oh yeah, remember how they were the worst.
But I don't want them to leave it off as like, Harry's doing all these shenanigans and then that's it. Like,
I agree with that.
Like, I don't want that.
But Peter Morgan, the creator, has said that he has a 20-year rule, so he doesn't write anything that happened less than 20 years ago, because things change so often and because we don't know the outcome.
Yeah.
So
then where would that leave us? So
I think season 5 will be in 2022, and then season 6 will be in 2023. So I think that leaves us 2002, 2003. And I think that as like we said, it fits in good, because I think it's a story of Elizabeth and Margaret.
Yeah.
So I think the death of Margaret, and I think they might like flash forward and do like the Diamond Jubilee and that kind of stuff. I think that like a Jubilee is such a good thing to end the season with, like they did with.
I do a little montage.
Yeah. Like something like that. I think they will do that, but I think that they will probably end it when Margaret dies, because Margaret is like such a big part of who Elizabeth is as a
queen. Yeah.
Do you think they'll play this song at the end of it? Let me just give
Candle Louis.
No, this song when you know, at the end of the movies, they show like a montage of and then they have like a montage at the end.
What is that? What?
I mean, not you.
I don't think they'll use that exact one.
I'm just joking.
It worries me how easy it was for you to find that song as well.
Because I listen to it. It's on TikTok all the time, and I was like, you know, like montages of like at the end of the movie, like, oh, this person went on to do like this thing. That would be funny. That
Like
would
at
be
the end of Made in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me in Tongkak and just like something that we all love. Like literally my only reason for doing this is that I mean, like I just wanted there to be spaces where we can talk like about things that we love, and because that's what I want to do all the time. So thank you, Fanie, thank you, Pia, thank you, Zayaan, thank you everyone who joined in on the chat and stuff like that, everyone who watched.
Thank you, Caryn.
Like, it's been
Thank
really
you,
fun.
Fanie, for making me laugh like that. Let's laugh like a drain for like an hour. Thank you. And Pia, it was so good to see you.
So good to see you too. It's so
Lovely
good
to meet you both.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.